Shalom, shalom, Sister Deborah, prophetess in the wilderness. And you know what? That's all right with me. Coming again on this Deborah platform with another message. I will say this is a lovely evening in which the Most High Yah has made, and I, Sister Deborah, shall rest therein. Just coming again with a little something. I will say this is a day in which the Most High Yah has made. And I promise you, it's best that you rest therein, meaning it's nothing you can do to change it. So you might as well find rest in his bosom and just endure what is, what was, and what shall be, according to what comes out of the mouth of Yah. He's sent us so many things that we are to be looking for, and when we see this, we have to praise him and honor him and glorify him for preparing such a way for us that we can walk therein and trust in him and rest in him and know that he has it all in control. Not some of it. I wouldn't dare tell someone he has some of it. He has it all. I sit back and I think about the things that I'm hearing and the things that I'm beholding and what I'm seeing on YouTube, what I'm seeing on Facebook, what I'm hearing in the media on news and CNN. I don't look at a lot of that at all, believe it or not, the CNN and the news. But when I do, it's always disturbing to my spirit. But the thing about it is, you can't hide from what is and what was and what shall be. You got to grip it in a way that's so deep, you all. And I make it sound like it's so easy, but it's more than that. And I've seen so many people on these platforms, they talking, and I realized that something that I never really discussed with you all, and that is that not only are they not letting you be in tune with your spirit man or give you some input regarding that, they are not even teaching you how to have a relationship with the Most High Yah. It is more important to them to give you dirt of what's going on in the world so it can keep you tense, so you can keep running back to them for more dirt. And it works. It's successful. They're successful in it, and they think that they're accomplishing so much because you're loving so much on them, to where you begin to serve them as a God and look forward to what they have to say versus what the Most High has already said. A lot of people don't look for messages from the Most High. I know I do. I mean, I get it in the water, especially throughout the day. And I'm going to definitely to get me a something that can be around my waist, that every time he's talking to me, I can write it down, because it's just getting really, really deep with the things he's saying to me. The other day I was listening on YouTube to a Dr. Mumby, and she was talking about what's going on in the world as far as this one country. I don't know if it was France, it was one of them, but it just did something to me to see a sign of a European woman holding up while all these people are in the streets. Her sign matched the sign I wrote out here in the United States of America. That's so deep to me. And when I saw that, Dr. Mumby was saying that people better wake up, that there's really something going on, and it is. But what people don't understand, people don't care about those who come to give them warnings or the right now word from the Most High Yah. No one cares about that. People are more in tune with trying to precept, because it seems like it's easier to digest and to take heed to. And a lot of it is to set up a really a denomination and a religion to believe that this is what it says. So you can grab this here, and line it here, little here, and it set up a denomination to where people are now turning to a denomination instead of turning to a relationship one-on-one with the Most High Yah. And it's sad. When she was saying, Dr. Mumby, she was on there, she was talking about a whole lot of things in which I have spoken about how the Most High is doing something in this, and it's really what's it going to turn out to be. And then you hear a lot of ugly mouths talking about on these devil platforms. And you know what? I'm gonna tell you something. I really thank the Most High for everything that's taking place, because it reveals to me, and everything that has taken place, even with this virus, which is not a virus, it's a biochemical made by the United Snakes along with the other underground power. But I just thank the Most High, because to me, while many are on YouTube and Facebook and Patriots and all these other things trying to get closure in Yah, they didn't lost the whole purpose. This thing is spirit. This is not natural. It is spirit. Once that spirit prepare you natural, then you got it. But until that spirit come and teach you to have an ear to hear, and it leads you and guides you, you still out there without a cause. And if you think it's supposed to be a woman guiding you, you think it's supposed to be a man guiding you and showing you the way out of the tunnel, you're lost without a cause. Because it's nobody that's going to come and give you the direction outside of the Most High's Holy Spirit to bring you out. It's no way. Okay, so I heard a lot of ugly mouths, like I say, and I'm going to stay on this here about people marching and tearing down monuments or whatever they call them, and doing all of this all over the world. It doesn't mean anything. That's because you're sick. You're still sick, because first of all, when the Most High does what he does and how he does it, let me tell you something. It ain't need to be justified and clarified by ones that say it don't mean nothing, or it ain't, because they don't see it. They don't see it in the spirit realm, because they're headed out to themselves. They're about themselves and where they at. See, a lot of them wants to ridicule people that's out there, that's showing, because they out there, it is making a difference. Although they're ridicule them. You know why? Because they have not done their work. They have not really labored at all. They take their laboring on these devil platforms as the labor and the fruit of the Most High Yah. Sister Deborah would never tell you what I speak on these platforms and what I do is not rewarded in the heavens. The Most High is not looking at Sister Deborah on this platform informing people of what I have to say and the things that I'm giving her. First of all, whatever he gives me is first has to come to my bosom. That means I have to apply it to me. And then after I apply it to me, I have to give it to you all in the way that he has given it to me. So what is that to say? It's not about me getting subscribers and likes. It's not about how long I've been on here and how many numbers. That's flesh. It's about spirit. Are you, Deborah, doing what I asked you to do? Yes, I am. Why? Because I already been told that I'm branded. So I have no way out. It's like a bunch of, let's say, cattle that the owner have brand his name on. No matter where that cattle, that say cows, and one get out. No matter where that cow go, he's branded. He still belongs to the one that has branded his name in him. Well, that's how the Most High have sealed me. And I'm going to explain to you all something. And he shared this with me today. And this is very, very powerful. The Most High was sharing with me because I understand in the scriptures where it says, and you shall be held blameless. The Most High is always instilling this word, blameless, blameless, blameless. Blameless is where his heart is for those that he have sundown with the seed. Okay? They're going to be held blameless because they was appointed, anointed, and sent down as a special mission from him. And those are the ones that hold seeds. So a lot of people would say, let's say if we go to Matthew's chapter 1, and you see all those that are listed, those are the seed carriers. Okay? They are the one that has come down in the seed as the seed. Okay, in Genesis, when it talks about the woman seed, they are the seed carriers. Those are the one that has been sent down. Okay, to represent those that gonna crush the head of the serpent. Those are the seed. That's why you can find Yeshua HaMashiach as a seed in there as well. Now, with those seeds, when you saw, let's go there. When you saw the things that David did, that's what he mean. If you ever do your study, go into the biblical and find the word blameless. Once you find the word blameless, you'll hear the Most High say that he's going to hold you blameless. He's talking about those that he have sent down here to carry the seed. Those who have crushed the head of the serpent. Okay. He's going to hold them blameless. That's why no matter what David went through and how he conducted himself and the things that he done, he was already sealed with blameless. Okay. When you see Solomon, no matter what Solomon did, he was already sealed as blameless. See, a lot of people don't understand when they teaching you, they teaches you from the level of their flesh. And the flesh can make you appear to be teaching the word of the Most High Yah. Flesh is real good with precept, real good with lining, real good with little here and a little there. Flesh is real good with bringing all books into one book and say that it was lost. But see, the Most High said, I always kept the flaming torch on. Meaning in every way it turns, you will find your way. So the way wasn't to be found in all the books, because if so, where was David's book? Where was Jacob's book? Where was Isaac's book? Where was Abraham's book? You see, where was in when I say their book, they came in a time where they should have been talking about what someone else, which is another forefather, Isaac should have been talking about the experience of his life. Or Jacob should have been talking about the experience of his life and what he's seen back in the days past according to the book. You look back at the New Testament, you don't hear them, even the disciples, talking about the book of the old. Yes, you hear them speaking on the grounds of what Elijah and different ones said, but not to the point of what they're doing today. See, the disciples didn't need to precept anyone. They didn't need to line here. They didn't need to little here. They didn't need to go to school. They didn't need to go to scholar and learn Hebrew and Greek. And they didn't need to learn. They didn't need to do any of that because something was in them greater than he that is in the world. And that's where the people are missing today. They're thinking that, oh, I have to belong to a Hebrew Israelite movement. Or I have to say this word and I have to say that word. Or I have to be wrapped this way and tied up this way. But I hear out of the mouth of the Most High Yah say, I'm going to hold you blameless. So a lot of people don't understand. He still have seeds that's doing his work. Okay. And they all too shall be blameless. When I see myself and I see him investing in so much information in me, it's really so much information to the flesh cannot contain, I would say. It's impossible. So what do I have to put it in the bracket of the spirit? And leave it there and know that whatever I see in the flesh, I have to measure it by the spirit, because that's the only thing that's going to make me see it clear. So when I see things are going on now in the world, I think about how he told me already before this third stage. He told me it was going to be a third stage, and what? Bam, there the third stage is. He never said in detail what it was going to consist of. And I don't think I would have been prepared for it, no way, even to the end of what it's going to be like when he has to birth Israel and the tribe of Judah out of this situation. So the situation is going to get very, very, very dangerous, scary, and hurting. Even though the way that they're thinking it now and the way that they're trying to get on these platforms and teach it, I believe I am, without a doubt, they all need to stand down and go over this thing over again in righteousness, because they're really teaching people things that doesn't mean anything. But because they can precept and they can line, they can set up a good sermon for you. They can set up a good message for you. You remind me of how they talk about the Christian church. It is nobody on these platforms that's not really a carbon copy of the way the Christian does it. But they just do it in their way. They say they're the truth. But what they don't understand that the Most High has here. He's going to hold them blameless. Meaning no matter what, I send them down here. I branded them for my name's sake. I gave them spirit and truth. I put my spirit in them to teach them and guide them. You know, so when I think of how he told me about the third stage and everything that's happening, and I look at George, and I even tell you today, George was a name that was put there, okay? George Floyd, okay? But what is, you have to see the spiritual part that's behind it. And I can see it. No, I couldn't see it when they were talking about, oh, the virus is the plague of the Most High Yah. And that's all you heard on these platforms. Oh, that's Yah punishing Babylon and punishing them who did us. Wait a minute. I, Sister Deborah, as a prophetess in the wilderness, is still waiting for him to judge his chosen. You know, I'm still waiting for him to put the full judgment. And I think this is what this is going to, it's going to appear as if, yes, they're out to make changes and so on, but there's going to be other issues going on that's going to have to affect the Israelites and the tribe of Judah, because you don't hear their cries. See, they don't understand. The Most High ain't going to step in the scene and deliver you without hearing your cries. You see, he can see and discern and already see all the hurt and the struggle, but he's waiting for something from you. And that right now, it's going to have to take something hardcore, and that's this heavy labor, this labor pain. Going to have to hit real hard for the tribe of Judah and the house of Israel to cry out with a voice so that the cry can reach the heavens. Because right now, he said that's not what they're doing. They turn into each other as their gods. They worshiping man on these platforms because the enemy knew what he did, was planning on doing when he created these platforms. But the Most High Yah, no matter where the enemy is at, the Most High Yah gonna always have his in the midst. And if his is not set apart from what the world is, then that right there is a sign. But people are looking, they want to belong to something. You know, like a woman always wanting to desire a man, and she don't understand where she get that from. Is in Genesis when he said your desire is going to be unto your husband. You're going to have a desire for them when they ain't even want to love you. You're going to have a desire for them when they want to beat you. You're going to have a desire for them when they abuse you and misuse you. You're going to have a desire for them when they don't want to work. You're going to have a desire for them when they want to be have in the closet and out. You're going to have a desire for them when they don't want to take care of home. You're going to have a desire for them when they don't want to see their children. You're going to have a desire for them when they don't want to pay their rent, don't want to pay anything, don't want to work, don't want to do anything. You're going to have desire for them when they want to drink alcohol all day and night. You're going to have desire for them when they want to shoot drugs. You're going to have this desire in you because the Most High has rubbed our hearts with that. But the good thing about it, he didn't say all the days of your life, nor did he call it a curse through generation. So we have to know, women, we have to pull out and pull up and start worshiping the Most High with all our heart, soul, and mind. We can't wait for a man to worship God. We know how to worship and praise him. We know how to give him honor and glory. We know how to seek his face. Stop walking around here waiting for the same one that's going to be judged in the face of Yah as you're going to be judged. Get out and do what you're supposed to do. If you got to get out ministering, go. You think the Most High wants you to be sticking under someone who's on these platforms and they don't even want to set an example? But you know that he has invested something in you. Go. Okay? We have to know. See, what I learned the other day when he was showing me about, I was reading, and I wasn't even planning on going through this here. And I'm reading, I heard men. I said, wait a minute, Father. Never have I read so many words in here that says men. Who put this in here? I'm going to tell y'all something. That's why it's so important to know spirit and truth. Because spiritual, you know this is not the word of the Most High. You know this is not the heart of the Most High. You know this is not Yeshua HaMashiach in here. You know it's a voice that's on a distance that you know that does not represent the Most High Yah. Someone didn't put so many things in there that said men Men throughout this book. And Yah has said, I've been speaking to all. And they have categorized it and have claimed it as just men. When I'm speaking, I remember one time he told me, I'm not talking to you. Because at that point, he was just showing me when I want to say something, Deborah, in my biblical, out of my mouth to a man, I say it to a man. When I want to say something to a woman, I say it to a woman. If I want to say something to the children or the child, I say it to the children or the child. If I want to say something to Satan, I say it to Satan. I am not like unto a man that I have to buckle up to their wisdom, their knowledge, and their understanding after I am the creator of the beginning of the end. Who do you think I am? See, and that's where it's mixed up on these here platforms. So I think about reading that, and I saw that, and he went and told me, you know that is not me. And I know that ain't the Father. I know it's a lot of stuff in there that men has put in there to target this thing about them and to put them here and to bring the female here. But they forgot from the beginning, have you not read that when he brought it into life, he brought it into him and her and into them as one. So it wasn't that he created man. When he created man, man had a mind already to disobey. That's why it was easy for him to sit there and watch Eve tamper with the message that the serpent, which was the one in the midst, was saying to her. He was right in the midst because he had already crossed the line. She crossed it, and I knew she crossed it because all my life, even as a young girl, I used to wonder, I don't remember Yeshua telling Adam, don't touch. Where did she get that from? So what I did is, this is how I do things. I go back to the Father. I don't go to no man. I don't go to no pastor, no leader. I remember my mother pastor told her, my mother went telling her, my daughter said this. And she told my mother, see, you need to listen to your daughter. Your daughter is a child of the Most High Yah. You need to listen to your daughter. She know what she's talking about. My mother hated that. My mother hated that. And I was young. I was in high school when that lady told her. She wasn't a she. It was he. It was a he and a she. But the wife was the one that was the assistant pastor. But when my mother went consulting them, telling them what I was saying, and she told her, you need to listen to her. She's a child of God. I know who I am. I don't need my mother to tell me that. I know who I am. I don't need nobody on these platforms to tell me who I am. I don't need your likes, and I don't need your subscribers to justify and clarify who I am. I know who I am. And it's been too many years. But I also know, with the gift that he has invested in me, that these people on these platforms are not who they appear to be. But I have to accept that. Why? Because Yeshua told even his disciples, the deceivers are not going to be at your workplace. See, that's what people don't understand. The deceiver is not going to be in your parks or in your communities. Oh, no, those are not the deceivers. The deceivers has to come in a position, they have to come through you, through what you see now, the media, the Facebook, the YouTube, this way where many can be deceived because it's been prophesied. The gate being hell being enlarged, the gate to destruction being broad, how very few shall find it. Just so many things. And I'm telling you all, it really pays to really learn about who the Most High really is. But those who are carrying the seed, it's not going to be blameless. So no matter what they do, no matter what, his word has to stand. And if you really wanted to do a search in blameless. And then you'll say, well, wait a minute, why is he going to hold these people blameless? No matter what they do. That's what I'm trying to say to you all. So when people are sitting on these platforms and they're talking and I'm sitting here discerning them, and I'm like, see, they just don't know. They got the wrong one. Listen to them. And they don't understand that. They thinking that they so used to you all liking and loving them and treating them like a God, to the point where they thinking they can just say anything to you, and they have won you over really successfully. As a prophet is in the wilderness, I can see that very clear, without a doubt. But when I hear their ugly mouth is go talking about the people that's marching, you need to shut up. They need to shut up. When people are talking about those that's out there marching and looting, you need to get away from them people, because you got to question them. Well, what are you doing? If you're the righteous and you're the one saying Yahuwah, Yahuwah, and you're the one got the true biblical, you got the truth, well, what are you doing? Are you out there? No, you're not. You're sitting in your comfort zone with your group, with your family, with your congregation, even the churches. Someone asked me today, well, what is it, all these churches, and you don't hear none of them doing anything, not moving or not standing for righteous? You ain't gonna hear them. I ain't got time for the people that's in the church. I ain't got time to be talking about them, because only one can deal with them is the Most High Yah. But these devils on these platforms that's here really leading people by great numbers, I mean, it's like, okay, there are some are leading people, let's say, to the beach to go in shallow. Okay, so there are many that's leading people into shallow. The leading the people into shallow is like still leading them out of truth. They're leading them out of truth, not in truth. But when they begin to lead him out in the deep, then that's what I look at the Hebrew Israelite movement itself. You're leading people out in the deep, way out there where they can't swim back to dry land or come closer to shallow. So I'm saying to you all, the Most High is allowing this. He is allowing it because he said, Deborah, I done spoke it from the beginning to the end. For thousands of years, I've been telling them. But what do you want me to do? He knows that I'm always saying, but Father, what? You know, everything is finished, Deborah. That's why you're able to rest in whatever is, was, and shall be. Trillions, millions, not trillions, can't even do that. So you still got to count yourself blessed. Blessed by who? The Most High Yah. Because he allowing you to see into sin. He ain't got you chasing books. He ain't got you chasing all this other stuff that men got people chasing to be able to understand truth. You don't need none of that. You know why you don't need none of that? What will be the sense of the Holy Spirit? What was I? Who was chasing me when I was 4 years old? Who was revealing things to me that I didn't even know what was going on? And I was able to tell it. I used to say things, even to today. I'm not one that can master the word, but I'm not one that wants to master the word, because the word in which we have come to know is not the word. The word is what proceeded out of the mouth of Yah and what proceeded out of the mouth of Yeshua HaMashiach. Not so much as what comes out of man, but if man has something that proceeded out of the Father's, the Creator's mouth, then yes, wonderful. If he has something that proceeded out of the mouth of Yeshua HaMashiach, wonderful. But you can't go chasing the old, bringing it into the year 2020, and they never conquered victory in doing nothing just and righteous and obedience to the Most High Yah. But you're going to bring it into the 2020, oh, we finna master. You can't master nothing that the Most High don't master in you first. See, this thing is spirit, and spirit is in you, greater in you. The part that he's in there, he has to be greater in you for you to be greater in what you understand and what you can proceed and comprehend. Me, myself, I still say there was times when I have went out onto the highways and byways and went out and spoke to people and homeless and out there under the bridges and taking fruit baskets and food out. And I learned something really great about out there, that the most anointed and appointed missionaries are out there. You're talking about faith. Let me tell you. You want to talk about the Most High Yah? Go out there and try talking with them. They're going to tell you something you ain't never heard, but yet you're going to know that it's truth. See, that's what I'm saying. But we got our perception is that it's on these platforms. Get our Bible, read, precept this and what are we precepting? What man has said. That's why a lot of things when they get to talking about women are not supposed to speak and man this, man that, when the Most High has revealed to me that it was a lot of man this and man that was put in there along with a lot of other stuff. And that's why he says only what comes out of the mouth of Yah do you take heed to. And then you can go into the book that talks about what Yeshua said, what comes out of their mouths. If man is repeating what comes out of their mouth, then yeah. But if you have not heard it out of Yahuwah's mouth, nor Yeshua's mouth, then you ain't got no business hearing what man tell you to do. Because it got to come from one of those ends. You see? And if it's coming from one of those ends, then if they speak in what he said, precept me the message that came out of the mouth of Yah. If you're going to say women are not supposed to speak and to keep quiet and keep silent, and women is to be submissive and all of this, bring that out of the mouth of Yah. Bring that out of the mouth of Yeshua HaMashiach. Oh, yes, they challenged challenged Yeshua. But it was deeper than what I thought, though. It was deeper than what I'm talking years ago, I thought. When they challenged to him, they was trying him, testing him. But yet it was a little bit deeper than that. Because when they tested Yeshua, they tested me. Hallelujah. When they tested Yeshua, they tested me. Because Yeshua bounced off of what I needed to know. Not so much as answering them, but giving me clarity. That see, this is how it is. Let's sit it down. When they went in and told Yeshua, trying to, the way they teaches it to you all, they was trying to test Yeshua. And they said, when Moses said, but see, he schooled them beyond Moses. He schooled them beyond any understanding. And guess what? They didn't get it then. Just after 2020, they don't get it. They went to telling him what Moses said. Because they knew that Moses was one that a lot of people had respected, and that he was a man of the Most High Yah, a man that was out of that was given to them from the Most High Yah. They knew that. They knew that. So they figured, okay, you say you who you are, but let me put what we know, who we know. We're gonna put Moses up on you. We're gonna rub Moses on you. Now Moses is supposed to be a man of chosen by Yah. But he said, see, y'all, you have to dig into that verse, and you got to understand how they challenging the Most High Yah in this. And they challenging Yeshua at the same time. Because during Moses' time, Moses was, the Most High Yah was upon Moses. He wasn't in Moses. He was upon Moses. Okay? In Yeshua, he's in Yeshua. You see what I'm saying? Now he's in. He's walking down here himself. See, then he was upon Moses. So it's the whole picture of it is deeper. That's why I say you have to dig spiritual in this message you all, and get spiritual. Don't get flesh first. Don't get worldly, just natural first. Get it spiritual. Reading it is just natural. But when you hear the Most High Yah and you hear the Spirit speaking, take that in your bosom and hold on dear to it. Then when you hear man speaking, if it's not if it's not lining up with him, or it hasn't came out of the mouth of Yah, then you don't go for it. That's why Yeshua tried to let him know. He say, when they come telling him what Moses said, can we get him a written decree, where they can get divorced, and in a sense, and let him send them away. See, this is the sort of sin that they were doing. They was taking these women and having them, and most of them, 99.9, was virgins. But they was entering into them, doing all what they want to do. Then when they finish, they can just give them a written decree. Now, what kind of crap is that? That's how it is today. Their mentality toward women. See, the Most High had to share with me, Deborah, they lost it in the book of Genesis when I created him and her. He said he lost it way back then. So now I got a message from a young lady. I don't know if she's a young lady, young man, but they gave me a whole, about 6 or 7 paragraphs. And I sat down and read it, and it was so powerful. It answered everything that I always thought as a teenager. There's something that's going on in this Garden of Eden. And it didn't start when she was speaking with the serpent. I always knew that. Never in my whole life had anyone to cover that. I just kept it within. I kept that within me. And even to today, when that person spoke it last week, when I opened up my line and allowed people to ask questions and even have answers. This person put that there, and I was like, there it is. Father, all these years, there it is. I knew that I wasn't losing it. I knew it wasn't nothing wrong with me. But it's so much that the Father has taught me as a young person that I still today hold on and ain't nobody hurt. Because people cannot even handle the basic truth. Let knows what the Spirit of the Most High has abided in me and have taught me one-on-one. So when that person said that, I always knew that it wasn't when she took heed to what was said to her, but it was already entered the sin itself before she chose that. You see? But the purpose of her choosing that brought in and it ushered exactly what the Most High said, good and evil. You see, it ushered in the both. But don't forget, good was already there. So her listening to what was being said, and then he sitting there with her, that's why, because he had already stepped in that realm. And see, no one would do that study and really understand. It didn't start when she did it. It had already started. And matter of fact, from the kingdom of the heaven of the Most High Yah, he knew already. Because he knew, I remember asking him this is what I said. I said, now, he was teaching me when I was a teenager. I said, now, when you finish, if you didn't want Satan, Lucifer, the devil with you, what makes you think we want him down here with us? That's how I was always one that questioned. And I don't think that I did not get answers. It's not a time that I knocked at the door that he didn't answer. It's not a time that I sought him and he was not found. He was always, when I seek him, there he was. When I asked, it might have took a moment, but lo and behold, he was always on time. So I'm telling you all, I'm just not that type of person. And even into today, like I was saying, back to the people who are on these platforms talking about what's going on. The Most High is doing something, and he's called early labor pains. And don't think he's not in it. So you don't need to be justified and clarify what somebody else say. Oh, they out there doing this, they doing that, and I don't believe that. That until they do this, until they do. Nobody answered to you. You ain't nobody's God. I know they've been conducting themselves like gods. And the people have been taking heed to them like they gods. But the reality is when God rumble, he rumble. And he don't answer to you to clarify and justify what is. Just like they talk about the 5G. That stuff is real. Wait until that stuff start showing up, the purpose of it and how it was present to a lot of illness that's taking place today. Wait until they realize this is a biochemical that man has sprung up just to try to get the power of control. But the deep thing with me is, and the Father haven't really dealt with me heavy on this, so that lets me know it might be something really that I already have within me, is I'm trying to understand the fullness of why is it that they did not use what man has in biblical have said, but then going back, I have to go back and see, is it coming out of the mouth of Yah, or did this come out of the mouth of man? I guess I got to go back and see that too. Where the 666 going to be put here and the hand. Oh, wait a minute, you all. That move with that biochemical, shut everything down. Why would you need to martial law when you can use a biochemical to rule the world? Come on, shut everything down. Put people in behind their four walls, force them to use all their electronics to be glued on the things that they still control in your face. Phones, controlling Facebook, YouTube, media, TV, CNN. They still controlling all you in your house, just looking at all of this. And they got you in captivity, in prison. And you ain't got sense enough to see. It didn't even take the mark of the beast. It didn't even take martial law. It was just a click of a button. A biochemical. Somewhere we are being controlled without the mark of the beast. And the people is too darn blind to see it. But I will say, I would never have known that there was that many agents in the Hebrew Israelite movement that I do know now. Since that when that virus, so-called virus, which is, I call it a biochemical that they claimed up, and it's 5G, and this that's going on now, just to hear these women and men on these platforms be so distant from truth, and in their teaching and in their way of trying to manipulate people, it is so powerful. Because when it's all said and done, those actions, you don't see them, none of them out there doing nothing about it. But yet they say they wicked. They got truth. And they constantly bringing that dirt to your mind, just as they manipulating people on these TVs, these phones, these tablets, these laptops, and on the TV for CNN, all these things that's going on. They controlling your mind. And it has to be something that can be able to control the world at a push of a button, and it's very successful. So that's what I put before the Most High. I said, Father, can you kind of give me some real good pinpoints of how they did it? Because I said, I see it, Father, I see it, but I see it too clear, Father. He said, you seeing it? You sure seeing it? You know what you see? What he tells me, he don't say, I know what I see. He said, you see well. That's what he always said. You see well. When he said that to me, it makes me feel so good. It makes me feel so good when the Most High tell you, you see well. That means that exactly what you see is what it is. And I thank him for that. But don't listen to people who on these platforms is about subscribers and likes, and only trying to feed you to keep you coming on their site. But you don't see them out doing anything with nothing they have or they give it. Nothing they have, their time, their labor, or nothing. But they laboring and using it as deceiving you, giving you the dirt, and then don't do nothing, show you how it's done to work with what's actually going on. They like to be negative toward those that's out there doing what they think they know. But then they want you to look at them as positive and people of the Most High Yah, because they sitting in their homes with their families, with their groups, their camps, and their group of men, and they all listen and answer. But then they tell the women, it just, let me not get into that, because the more I think about that, but I thank the Most High for giving me the input that he gives me, and how he has loved me and never forsaken me, and still with me, and still shall be with me. So Sister Deborah would say, I don't even know what I'm going to label. I was all over the place with this. I don't even know what I'm going to say that this video is really surrounding. But I will say, don't try to be careful in what you're feeding in. And I'm going to tell you all something that's very important. It's very important that you also touch base with those that you see they got very little likes and subscribers. Because the gate in which the Most High has ministered to us is going to always be narrow. But that narrow gate going to be what is righteous. And the narrow gate got to appeal and look and be narrow. It can't be a gate that where you got all these subscribers and everybody running to you, liking you and praising you. No. That's not the narrow gate. And he said the narrow gate leads to one thing, and that is righteous. You all need to think about that. So I say unto you, Sister Deborah, always on this Deborah platform, telling you about those that's out here teaching, and but I will sum that up with that. He said, narrow is the gate to what is righteous, and it leads to righteous. So when you run around chasing everything that has a multitude or has a certain amount to make them righteous, you're lost without a cause. And the without a cause come in it, y'all let you be lost in what you feel is righteous. I love him. I love him for being who he is all by himself and telling me you have to be who you are in me all by yourself. So I say unto you, shalom and shalom.